Yonko. What exactly is a Yonko? Yonko is a term used in the One Piece storyline, and it was first introduced by Garp to us back in the pre-time skip era. This is what he had to say about the Yonko. Yonko are the four pirates who reign like emperors over the later half of the Grand Line. He said that when he first met Luffy, and he was talking about Shanks, and we know that Shanks is one of the four emperors of the sea right now. Now, in the overall story of One Piece, we've had five emperors of the sea. Uh, First is, of course, we have Whitebeard, who's passed away. We have Big Mom, we have Kaido, we have Shanks, and we have Blackbeard. Big Mom and Whitebeard are supposed to be the older generation of the Yonko. Shanks and Kaido are supposed to be the newer generation of the Yonko, and Blackbeard is the brand new generation of the Yonko. He's just become the Yonko. And as far as we know about the Yonko, they have high bounties, they're very powerful pirates, and they have powerful crews that they use to dominate the New World. Now, what else do the Yonko have? What else actually describes as a Yonko? Now, when we saw Law for the first, not the first time, when Law saw Luffy for the first time, he did mention about the Yonko. He made a proposal to defeat Kaido. So this is how he describes the Yonko as. The Yonko are people who rule. They have a huge crew and they rule over the New World as a huge criminal syndicate. And most often times you don't even get to see the captains of the Yonko crew because they're that powerful. They rule over the seas that powerful. And we saw what Marineford was what we saw Whitebeard show off in Marineford. He was a single Yonko and he took on the navy in Marineford. And of course he died, but at the same time we saw his powers, and it was terrifying. Now, the remaining Yonko that we're familiar with are Big Mom. We've seen Big Mom in action. She has proven to be a Yonko. And Kaido, we've seen Kaido in action, and he's also living up to the hype of a Yonko. Shanks, of course, he's only been a Yonko for 6 years, and some say that he's probably the weaker Yonko because he's on par or if he's a rival to Mihawk. But we'll have to see when we see it. We'll understand when we see it. But for now, we know that Blackbeard has both the Yami Yami no Mi and the Gura Gura no Mi. So he's up and coming Yonko, and he will definitely get up there pretty soon by the end of the story. Now, that said, this is basically all the Yonko that we know of. Now, what else does a Yonko represent? What else do you have to get to become a Yonko? In the Ace novel, Thatch mentions that to become a Yonko is not just about being the most ferocious of pirates. Being a Yonko is about how successful a person is at establishing and building their own empire, which makes sense because Yonko is all about being an emperor of the sea. And to be an emperor, you have to rule something. You have to have a territory, you have to have reputation, you have to have power. So that's why, to be a Yonko, you need to have three things. First is reputation. How does a pirate get reputation? Shanks has his reputation from his battles with Mihawk. Big Mom has her reputations by throwing lavish parties and killing people in the middle of the party so that the whole world knows what she's about. Kaido has his own reputation as the world's strongest creature, and Whitebeard has his reputation as the world's strongest man. Blackbeard has built up his own reputation by coming to Marineford and showing the whole world what he's capable of. That's the whole point, he was there. And to get the Gura Gura no Mi and to show off that he's a Yonko. The same thing goes for what he did with the other things, and he's on the move right now. Now, that's Blackbeard. So the second thing about that is territories. So a Yonko needs to have territories, and we know that all the current Yonko have their own territories. Big Mom has Tata Land, Shanks has his own territories, Blackbeard conquered all of Whitebeard's territories, and we know Kaido has Onigashima and Wano and probably other territories outside Wano. Now, the last thing that a Yonko needs to have is the power to protect their rule and territory. We know that Big Mom is definitely a Yonko because she was able to protect her territory, and Luffy had no other choice but to run away. Shanks, so far, he does have his own territory and he seems to be protecting his territory. Whitebeard's territories were taken over after his death, and Blackbeard seems to be very good at controlling his territory. And lastly, Kaido. Kaido is still ruling over Onigashima, and he has the power to control Onigashima. He has the power to defend Onigashima. Now, all of this being said, Luffy is currently painted as the next Yonko or the fifth Yonko by Morgan. Now, it's only a matter of time before Luffy actually becomes a Yonko, but the problem is that right now, Luffy is not at that level yet. He got one-shotted by Kaido, and he was almost one-shotted by Big Mom, who just took his attack right into her forearm and took him out of Gear 4. So he's not there by power yet. And as for territory, Fishman Island is not yet under his control. Will it be? Yes, but not yet. So Luffy is yet to become a Yonko, probably by the end of Wano. This is our basic understanding of what a Yonko is. Thank you for watching.